What's up, guys? Welcome back to this week's episode of Round Recap, where we recap the latest round in rugby league. No, we look at who played good and who didn't. Right? We're back. It's another week. It's another big week of rugby league. Lot to talk about this week. 18 sin bins. We had 18 sin bins in this round of rugby league. It's the most for the year. And we've got a new sign, okay, guys? So, new whiteboard. New stats board for Punters Playbook, but it's acting as a sign for the moment until we can get an official one made up. Five-field insights in the background, just let you know, alright? But yeah, all that aside, 18 sin bins in that. So if you guys got the privilege to watch this week's round, it was pretty good. It was the Anzac round. Anzac Day on Friday, but Anzac round, and it was great rugby league, okay? In my opinion, there's some really big rounds for rugby league. There's some really big rugby league events. All right. NRL, Grand Final, State of Origin, Magic Round. But Anzac Day stands out to me, guys. I really like the Anzac Day games. It just almost feels like every game's a finals game. It's just, these teams are just really fighting hard to get a win. And, this week was really good. That being said, we'll jump in. Broncos Bulldogs, Thursday night game. The Bulldogs finally lose in the 2025 season. The Broncos knock them off 42-18. Pretty vicious whacking, guys. The Broncos are back in a big way after, I'm pretty sure, conceding 2 losses. I think that's the case. Anyway, they come back and they knock the doggies off the undefeated ladder, if you will. This was a good game. Typically, I don't like whackings. Typically, I don't like the 42-18s. All right, but this one was good because it was kind of shocking to watch the Broncos beat the doggies like this. All right, in the wet, in Suncorp. Seemed like the Broncos might have lured the Bulldogs into Suncorp with a false sense of security and jumped them. So just sort of jumped them. The Broncos jump a lot of teams. All right, lure them in a false sense of security and then jump them. But no, I think the doggies went in there maybe with something a little bit too much to prove. I think they might have, gone in there with the thought process of we're not going to be pushed around by the Broncos at Suncorp. And yeah, it didn't work out for them. Okay, they got the short end of the spoon. And the Broncos came up with the dub in a big way in the wet. Adam Reynolds just had the ball tied to a string. He was just kicked a 40-20, try assist out the door, gets his own try. It was just a great game. It was a great game to watch. There was a lot of standout players, a lot of standout footy, all right? Great way to start the round. Great Thursday night game. I have no complaints about this game, all right? The sin binnings, I think I will just say, because I'll talk about the sin binnings here and there throughout the episode, but, I mean, the Bulldogs sin bins, I feel like a few of them were justified. A few of them, it goes back to what I was saying. The Bulldogs might have went in there with a little bit too much steam and they just weren't getting their hits right. So, yeah, the Bulldogs, I think a couple of them were warranted. But no, this was a great game, guys. Great way to kick off Anzac round. Roosters Dragons. This was a cool game as well. I didn't mind this one either. Once again, it was a bit of a whacking. Almost identical scorelines, 46-18. The Dragons, who might have been a betting favourite going into this, although they were the betting underdog, people might have been backing them after, 2 or 3 wins in a row compared to the Roosters just losing to Penrith. I just seen it, okay? I just seen it. I did. The Roosters they put a little bit more together in the way of the team, all right, getting rid of Dominic Young in that. And Sandon Smith played some of the best footy he's played all year, probably in a Roosters jersey, right? And it was the Bondi Blue jersey too. So this was a good game. I don't have much to say about it, but yeah, Sandon Smith played his heart out. Once again, a couple more sin binnings in here that were just But anyway, this was a good game. Roosters, if they can keep this up, man, they are entertaining to watch. I think Sam Walker and Sandon Smith might just. Once we see Sam Walker back, that is. But right now, Hugo Savale's doing pretty well as number 7. So I don't know where I was getting with that. I was going to make a point about them as a halves pairing. But, it was a good game. Okay, Hugo Savale. Okay. Sandon Smith. Warriors Knights. Punters Playbook got up on this one, guys. Okay, I'll dive deeper into that in Punters Playbook later in the week. But for now, I just wanted to let you know that we got up on this one. Wade Egan looked after us. This is a good game. This is sort of what I expected. I might have expected the Warriors to put a few more points on the Knights, but I mean, the Knights' defense sort of held out. This was, good close footy. You know, a bit of a nail biter there towards the end. But no, it was good. The Knights probably looked the best they've looked in a few weeks. No, I wouldn't even say they've looked the best they looked. They've seriously, I don't know how they are above Penrith. Well, obviously they have a few more wins, but just off of how it's been going, I feel like Penrith don't deserve to be down there. I think Knights do, but hey, I could be saying all this right now, and then the Knights beat the Rabbitohs at Magic Round, and I am going to cry myself to sleep. All right, if the Rabbitohs lose to the Knights at Magic Round, I'm going to terminate the channel, guys. I'm going to terminate the channel. You're not going to see any more Fighting Field Insights stuff from me because I don't want to live in that world where everyone gets to bully the Knights and then I don't want to speak it into existence, okay? Because I know we have the better side, and I believe in the boys. All right, it's the same team that I seen something in at the start of the year, so I'm not going to look past that, and I'm just going to believe in the fact that we're going to get it done. So, but yeah, Warriors Knights was a good game. Not too many takeaways. Wade Egan played really good footy. Clockstead was returned. He played really well. Lukey Metcalf played well. Just good all round, good footy. Not too much else to say. Up next, Storm Rabbits. Honestly, yes, we lost, but I'm not too upset about it. Holding the Melbourne Storm to a close game, not just getting smashed. Okay, like Manly got smashed. Right, so I'm happy that we held them to a close game at AMII Park. This I can't complain about. 24-16. Jack White, I'm pretty sure, got a double. All right, I wasn't all that invested in this game. Yeah, it's my team, it's my club. But once I seen where it was going, I was half in, half out. Right, there was dog races going on simultaneously during the playing of this game. So, Rabbits. To hold the Storm to this close of a game and 10 all at halftime. These are things I like to see. And Joe Gray moving into 5'8", this was really cool. This was a late advancement in the crazy world of rugby league, NRL, media and stuff. He comes in to replace Cody Walker, who's out for 6 weeks, I think, or something. He's out for a little while, 5 or 4 weeks. So Joe Gray's got a bit of time to shine at 5'8", if that's where they decide to keep him. But yeah, no, this was. I'm not too upset about this result. This could have been so much worse. We could have been sitting here looking down the barrel of another 30 plus points to nil or a 50 stacker on us. All right, so 24-16. If your team's going to lose to the minor premiership winners last year, all right, then this is all right scoreline to hold them to. Cowboys Titans. This was first game of the Saturday evening. All right, Cowboys weren't looking so good in the first half. Brought it back in the second half in a big way. 50-18. If you watch Punters Playbook, guys, the stats are all there. Cowboys just don't lose to the Titans in Townsville, all right? It's just rugby league and it's simple, okay? It's 50-18. It's 50-18, and yeah, the Cowboys really started pouring on them in there in the second half. Titans, man, it went from the Titans being inconsistent at the start of the season, right? This is the words I was starting to use: unreliable, inconsistent. But now I feel like the words to describe the Titans might just be shit. All right? No, they're missing Jaden Campbell still. I think Jaden Campbell is a big puzzle piece for the Titans. I think if he comes back, that he does make games. All right, but there is players for the Titans who are standouts. Bo Firma, who had a great game. Tino was a little bit quiet. A lot of the players were just a little bit quiet. Campiero just didn't even see him, man. Didn't even see him. There's just a lot of quiet players for Titans, all right? So, yeah, that's And at the end of the day, I don't think this is a forever thing for the Titans. I think they're just in a bit of a rough. Okay, so yeah, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on them, but I think we can see them get a win soon. Penrith Manly. This game had main event written all over it. All right, it had WrestleMania written all over it. It had bright and shining letters all over it. Right, this was on paper a great game. Okay, and it still was pretty good. But the narrative here and the storyline is that Penrith kind of fell back into the groove that we thought they were out of, for one. And for two, the reffing, I don't know what the more formal pronunciation of the word reffing is, but the reffing in this game, okay, it was just shit, okay? It made it nearly unbearable to watch, okay? I think it was the Scott Sorensen send-off, or Scott Sorensen high shot was just, it was ludicrous, okay? It was ludicrous. Absolutely insane, all right? It's just, yeah, I could sit here and I could do a 30-minute video about the high tackle rule and things that need to be changed and how it can be changed, but it'll never get me anywhere, okay, guys? We strictly like to break down rugby league, all right? We like to give tips, we like to give opinions, okay? But I think my opinions on high tackle isn't going to get me anywhere, okay? All right? It just gets me fired up. But other than the reffing in the game, okay, I still think this was entertaining. Ruby G, first try scorer. Olakawatu finally gets a try. So if you guys have been watching Punters Playbook, you guys have been following Punters Playbook, Olakawatu finally gets his first try of the season. So yeah, big, huge. Yeah, it's a cool game. This is a great way to end Saturday night. I just wish it was reffed a little better. It just made it a little hard to watch. Just the constant errors for Penrith. And I mean, a lot of the time Penrith weren't helping themselves, man. Knock-ons and such. But yeah. On to the Sunday games, which in my opinion were some of the best games of the round. All right, especially the final game of the Sunday. But we'll get into that. For now, it's Canberra Raiders versus the Dolphins. Wow. Okay, GIO Stadium. And the Dolphins, it looked like the Dolphins were going to come in there and they were just going to take over. They were going to leave with the Raiders' head in a bag, okay? But that was not the case, all right? The first half, it was just looking like dark, rainy days for Canberra fans, okay? It was looking like getting home early, beating the traffic, okay? Guess what? No way, man. No way, Jose. Raiders come back in the second half in a big way, okay? But that first half, not to skip over it, the Dolphins looked really good. The Dolphins sort of did what Melbourne Storm did to them in that first half of that game. And then Raiders just brought it back. But no, I was watching and I was thinking, wow, the Dolphins are just on another one. I was sitting there thinking to myself at halftime, I was thinking, is this the year of the Fin? Is this seriously the year of the Fin? Don't get me wrong, could be. Could very well still be because it's rugby league and it's unpredictable, okay? But I stuck strong in my beliefs that Raiders were going to get this one done, and they got it done. And this was one of the harder games to pick for the round, and I liked that it went the way that it did. But yeah, a lot of names, a lot of middle players just getting through for tries and stuff. So, but I think Ethan Strange got through, Manny Nicholson, Jamal Fogarty got through. Sebi Chris. It was a good try scoring game. It was a good game. It was a good way to ease into this next big one. This was a good game to get you ready for what was about to take place. All right, West Tigers versus Cronulla Sharks. Oh my god, Leichhardt Oval. What? The Tigers and a Sunday afternoon game. Okay, the final game of the Sunday, and the Tigers, they walk hand in hand into the sun. All right, and I think it's Melbourne. I think it's Melbourne versus Canberra fill this spot next week. So they got big boots to fill because the Tigers have done really well 2 weeks in a row at providing top tier must-watch rugby league. All right. Golden Point games. You guys know us here at Fight and Field Insights, we love a Golden Point game. We love a tight game of rugby league. Keep on saying it. 18 all, and we've seen 2 halves of golden point, overtime. It was crazy, guys. It was bananas. It was honestly bananas. Like, this game had so many moments, similar to the Parramatta one last week, had so many moments where sin bins and you had the Nakora shot on Luai, and Luai going off, and he comes back on, and it was just like this constant, like, needed a second to breathe game of rugby league. Like, I'd try to get up and go do stuff, but then, there'd be a bit of a raise in the commentator's tone, and I'd peek my head back around the corner like, what have I missed? It was seriously must-watch rugby league. It was so good. It was so cool. The Tigers, they get it done. It was just, there were so many weird things that happened at the end there with the kicking game, and it was just, oh, man, penalty just outside, I think it was the 30 or the 20 for the Tigers, gets them the 2-point lead and gets them the win over the Sharks, which is a good win. It's a big win from losing to Parramatta, who were, bottom of the ladder, close to then beat the Sharks, who just beat Manly, I'm pretty sure, or something of the sorts, okay? Who'd the Sharks just beat, actually? I can't even think of the Sharks just beat. Newcastle, maybe? I'm not sure. Newcastle. But this was a great game, guys. This was, honestly, cannot complain, one of the best rounds. I know I say every week we have a game that we say this about, but this was one of the best, all right? This was a great game of golden point. So, yeah. And then Parramatta had the bye. Guys, that's it. That's all the rugby league we had. That is all the rugby league we got to watch, which is unfortunate because it was so good. It was such a great weekend. Anzac weekend, as I said at the start of the video, is my favourite round of footy to watch, all right? Okay, it's up there. And then you get so lucky to watch Magic Round next, but Anzac, man, it's just all the formality from Anzac Round. You have a ceremony at the start of each game. It just gives it that bigger feel. It just gives them not smaller teams necessarily, but then teams that you may not give too much of a freak about. The Tigers and the Sharks and these are some people's favourite clubs, but they're not mine, all right? And the Dolphins and the Titans, right? And the Cowboys. These sort of teams that I'm not all that invested in. It makes me invested in the game, because each club's got a unique jersey, and they do the little ceremony, and there's a moment of silence. Okay, that makes Anzac Round for me, and that's what makes these games just feel like prelim finals every single game, right? So yeah, this was seriously, guys, great round of footy. For a game of the round, for a Fighting Field Insights game of the round, round 8, I don't have to sit on this. I don't have to dwell on this too much. Okay, I did like the Broncos Bulldogs. I liked every game. This is the thing. I liked every game this round. But if we're talking about how good of a game it was West Tigers versus Sharks, all right? So West Tigers versus Cronulla Sharks, guys. You guys get the Fighting Field Insights game of the round, round 8. Seriously, was must-watch footy. It was so good. It was, both these teams went above and beyond what I expected. All right? I thought this would be a bit of a drink break, and it certainly wasn't. This was nowhere near a drink break. And then to follow that up with a player of the round, okay, there was some big players. All right. Broncos, Reno, he played extremely well. No one really stands out from the Bulldogs too much for me. Just, I don't know. Reno stands out. Payne Haas always just plays silly footy. Like, silly good. Incredible footy. Sandon Smith, guys, we can't look past Sandon Smith. He had a cracker. Even Hugo Savala had a pretty good game. It wasn't that bad, but Sandon Smith was definitely the standout for that game. Warriors, sort of have to say Wade Egan maybe stood out. He put the game in the bag for me, but that one's a bit of a trickier one. Storm Rabbitohs. Look, I didn't want, as I say, this is really crazy, okay, because it's my team, South Sydney, my team. But I probably watched the least of this game. All right, so I just kind of knew the narrative of it before it started. But I think, probably Cameron Munster, Cowboys Titans, Tom Dearden for the Cowboys played really well. Manly versus Penrith, maybe a Ruben Garrick. No, maybe an Ola Kawatu. Ola Kawatu actually played a lot better than what he's been playing. The Raiders, Hudson Young once again played really good footy. Jamal Fogarty played really well. And then Tigers Sharks. This is a hard one. Terrell May had a really good game. Sharks also had a really good game. I think Nico Hines and Trindle had did pretty well. Yeah, this is a hard week, guys, because there was a lot of like standoutish players. Last week was an easy one to pick just because of how good Mitchell Moses was. So it was easy just to jump on and say, hey, Mitchell Moses, you get it. I think a little bit more thought has to go on this one. All right, maybe it's an Adam Dewey. All right, maybe it's a Hudson Young. Okay, maybe it's an Olakau'atu. All right, but a name that I haven't said. All right, and if you don't know already, guys, Fight Field Insights. We pick off of Dog. We pick off of Heart. Stats can only get you so far in this game, and a name that I haven't even said. It's Bo Firma. Bo Firma, stand up, take a bow, okay? 4 try saves, or 3 or 2, I'm not sure. There was a lot of try saves, a try assist, just running meters, completed tackles. I mean, we're looking off of just a traditionalist game of footy, right? Bo Firma, stand up, take a bow. You're getting Fight Field Insights Player of the Round, round 8. Congratulations, we're going to get that medal all made up and sent out, all right? I'm almost certain Bo Firma is the first forward player to get it. All right. Don't even know if he played on the edge, forward, or the mid, or the middle. But wherever he was, man, congratulations. All right, you're getting it. Feels, yeah. These prop anyway. But yeah, no, guys, that's all we've got. That's it. I don't have much else to say. I think I'm going to start checking the ladder. The end of every single one of these, just to see where your team's at, or where my team's at, right? Who's at the top? Bulldogs still at the top. Storm number 2. Canberra Raiders number 3. Warriors at number 4, which is huge for the Wars. Broncos sitting at 5. Cowboys sitting just below them, which is looking good from the start of the season. And then we have sadly dropped to 10. Tigers in the top. Tigers are in the 9. They're just outside the 8. Penrith all the way down here in number 17, guys. So, yeah, the ladder's looking nice and juicy. Hopefully with a win against Newcastle, we might be able to get up in here somewhere, please. And then, man, how good is Rugby League, guys? How good is it? We've got Magic Round this weekend. There's so many more good games to come. I'll break them down and look at them in Punters Playbook, guys. So if you want to see my picks and takes and bets on all of these juicy Magic Round games, check out Punters Playbook later in the week. But, with that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. And, I'll see you in the next episode of Round Recap. Jai Gray, please reach out, mate. Please come on the show. Hey, if you give me a quick shout out, can you look at the camera and say, Jai Gray, please come on the show.
Jai Gray, please come on the show, mate. You're a great ambassador for the game. Please come on.
Cheers, guys.